been in this game a long time, not as long as me, so I'm making myself sound about 120. You sounded about 95. But I do ask artists on the show, especially if people are coming to us a second time, what advice they have for other people in the game, especially people that are don't have a manager, that are unsigned, that are really getting themselves out there. What advice do you have to do that?
I was thinking about this actually on the way in, because we always talk about
business stuff.
The
Yeah.
business, and I think the one thing that keeps coming back to mind is sacrifice. Being willing to sacrifice a lot in your life for, and this is true of, like, you know, anyone who has a big goal, whether they want to be an athlete or whether they want to be an actor or you know, a singer, or they want to work in television. It's like, if you want to do something extraordinary, you have to be willing to sacrifice a lot of the ordinary things that your friends might be able to do, because they're maybe working a job that has a direct path to success.
Yeah.
Where, you know, where if they do A, B, and C, the outcome is, you know, D, and it's like, especially then when you get to your mid-20s, your late 20s, your 30s, and people are getting promotions, and you know, their financial situations are different than yours might be if you're still kind of hustling. You have to realise that you can't expect yourself to be able to be in the same position as them, but also there's rewards that you get that are not financial, that are, you know, when you look back on, for instance, when I look back on my last year, and I almost didn't realise it at the time, all the great reviews and the great feedback that I got, and the positivity from people that I had actually made new music.
Yeah.
And you know, that was something that I wouldn't have had, obviously, otherwise. So it is worth it, but you have to remind yourself of that a lot, because it gets tough at times, because you're really, if you're giving it your all, and if you're your own manager and your own publicist, it's a lot of man hours. So, you know, you'll work on the side, but there's only so many hours in the day.
And there's discipline as well, isn't there?
You
have to learn how to structure things in your life.
Yeah, it's like, you know, people who go to the gym and they expect to have results in 3 weeks, then if they don't get them, they leave it at that. It's like, I think with anything in life, it's about consistency and about you know, picking yourself back up after a knock and just keep going. I don't think that there's any magical ingredient about, you know, to success. I think it is, okay, there might be some luck involved, but I also don't think that's the main ingredient. I think a lot of it is like you said, discipline, consistency, and as well knowing what it is that you want. And I had a meeting with somebody recently who said, I put an idea to them, and they said, why would you be doing that? Ask yourself why. So always ask yourself, like, if you're releasing a new single, or if you're posting something on your Instagram page, ask yourself the why. Why am I doing this? What's the outcome? What kind of outcome do I want? Because otherwise you're just doing things and it's reckless, and there's no
There's a lot of that on social media.
You know, and then it's this thing of delete later, and like you have to have a plan. You definitely have to have a plan. I think that's the main, and document it, whether that's on paper or whether that's like, you know.
And branding. I mean, I'm always saying to people, branding is a lot more than just the colours in a logo.
Of course it is, and it's about knowing what your brand actually is, and it evolves and it changes, obviously. And I think the more consistent you are, the more you can pick people up along the way, and they say, oh, that's what he does, I kind of like that vibe. Like, you know, I would go to a couple of bands, I've been to a lot of shows this year in Dublin, small gigs of bands that I like, and a lot of the time it's because they offer a certain flavour, like a sonic vibe that I love, you know, whether it's dream pop or like synth rock or whatever it is. I'm going because I know that I'm going to get a certain thing when I go there.